So first of all, for this brow class, you need to cleanse your skin, and we're using Blossom Micellar water. You could use any other type of cleansing water. This just helps cleanse your skin effectively and takes out every single dirt. Cetaphil is also an amazing brand that also helps to clear off dirt and debris. And next thing we're going to use is Pond's Setting Primer. It's very good for oily skin, applying on the brows and also above and beneath, which is everywhere around the eye area. It's also an amazing brand. It helps to mattify the brows and keeps it dry all day. Next thing is to buff. Buffing is just basically setting everything into the skin, and you need to do this fast because it dries quickly. And now we're setting the brows with a setting powder. You could use Laura Mercier, you could use Sacha Buttercup. That just keeps your brows in place and it just adds up with the primer, and blending in is extremely important. The next thing is the brow grooming. I'm currently using Classic USA brow pencil in brown. This brow pencil is really good because it's very pigmented. You could use MAC brow pencil for those in America. For those in Nigeria or Africa, you could use Classic USA brow pencil. You could also use Sephora brow gel in brown. These brands are very good for those that are not in Nigeria. This brow pencil is extremely pigmented, as you can see, and I'm gently stretching the skin so the pencil glides in. And I also add, you must point your pencil forward, don't slant it, so it gives a sharper result. Everybody like better thing. Thank God that I find better thing. Now I'm going to be using Yanga Brow Lotion. This brow pencil is super pigmented and it's extra dry. It's extra matte dry. I'm using that to fill in the brows lightly. You can send them a DM or order and they can send in the products from Nigeria over to America. And as you can see, I'm just filling it into the brows lightly with this sort of precision. Next thing I'm doing is I'm using my brow tint. That is Glam Girl's brow tint in brown. This brow tint is basically to make the brows extra matte and fills it in appropriately. So just as you can see, that's exactly what I'm doing, nothing extra. I'm using a lippy this time, which also serves as my brow tint. You could use a MAC Girl Boy, you could use Blot Cosmetics. There are different kinds of brow tints. I have all of them, but I basically wanted to show you guys another way to tint your brows by using a matte lippy, but a light lippy on the brows with a spoolie. Just apply quickly because it dries pretty fast. These are the tools for concealing. I'm using a flat Verve brush from Yanga Beauty. You can send them a DM to order. It's a beginner's friendly brow brush. It's really amazing. And also I'm using this buffing brush from Blossom Cosmetics and this concealer from LA Girl and Madame Glow. And I'm using a foundation from Adventures Cosmetics. Now the reason why I'm using these three brands is because I'm going to be using the darker shade, which is a foundation, to conceal the top, and then the lighter one to conceal below, which is LA Girl Concealer. The foundation is darker because it blends more into the skin. Then the concealers are lighter to highlight and pop the lower parts of the brows, as you can clearly see. So I'm going to be using the flat Verve brush from Yanga Beauty, and I'm just going to start concealing. When you stretch the skin, it helps you conceal effectively. Your brush goes into the brows better when you stretch the skin. If you're going to be working on your face or on a client, it's important that you stretch the skin. That way your brush can effortlessly go into the brow line smoothly. Okay, so clearly I'm mixing in the darker shade of concealer with the medium shade of concealer, which is LA Girl in Fawn and Madame Glow. And then on top of the brows, I will be using the foundation because it's darker. Dabbing is very important. Dab flawlessly. Don't swipe because you might crease the concealer process. So dab, dab, dab like you're dabbing forward. You're tapping it with your brush. You're tapping and tapping and tapping and tapping until you have a flawless result. Don't stop and don't rush your brow work. And you're going back in again to make sure that the top of the brows is sharp. And this time I'm using the Adventure foundation. You could use a concealer that is darker. You could use Toffee. If you have Toffee, you could use Toffee, but I'm using the exact shade of her skin tone to conceal the top of her brows, which is Adventure foundation. Okay, and then going back underneath the brows to sharpen it again. It's just precision and consistency in releasing excellence. Don't rush your brows. Don't rush your brow process. Don't rush your brow process. You need to take your time. Don't be a good brow artist. Be an excellent brow artist. Take time to pay attention to details, which is what I'm doing right now. I don't stop until I'm satisfied. So I go over and over and over until I am satisfied with how the brow looks. And that's what makes a brand different from an excellent brand. Okay, so we slay. Yes.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna